Hello and welcome to ESL Revolution, everyone. I am your content creator and professor, Dr. B. Not a real doctor. I realized that I'd forgotten to say that I'm not a real doctor in my first video, but I'm sure if you've watched any of my other ones, you will know that as part of my little intro. But welcome back, everybody, to video number 2 for the Sorcerer Corruption Healing video. That's right, we are back with video number 2. If you have not checked out the first video, then please go ahead and do that now. That provides some overview on the class in terms of what we can do for healing, and a small little comparison between Merc and Operative on one side and Sorc Heals on another. But with this video, we are jumping into utilities and passives. And before we get to that point, I would like to have to say a big shout out to Merlin Swartor. That's right, Merlin Swartor. Thank you so much for the guide that you've put together for all of the classes, all of the subclasses. My goodness, he's done a lot of work. Having that conversation with him a few months back, asking permission to create these videos, I thank you so much for all of your effort. And I'm sure that people watching these videos on my channel or in the community at large do hope that you give him the props. This is a lot of work went into his guides. I will be leaving a link below in the YouTube comments, so by all means, go check that out. I'm sure there's something that I've missed along the way, and the guide will fill you in on that. If you have not subscribed to the channel, what are you doing? Come on, what are you doing? It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. It's one button. Click and you're done. Go do it. That way, I know that you're watching the videos and the content is being taken seriously. So go ahead. You know you want to. That red button, it's right there. It's right in front. You're looking right at it. Right there. Click. There you go. See? That wasn't that hard now, was it? All right. Let's first look at our utility points. We have 9 utility points in this game when you get to level 75. Obviously, if you're starting off and you're, level 20 or whatever, you're only going to have 2 or 3. Level 20, I guess you're going to have 2. But that's okay, because you can still use the utility points from a low level and put them in as you need. So don't worry about that at all. Okay. Getting into the points, here we go. Number 1, Sith Defiance increases damage reduction by 3%. Yeah, no brainer. Anytime you can take something that reduces damage taken as a healer, take it. It's a good one, absolutely. So yeah, for sure. I don't know what else to say about that. Just take it. Next one is this one right here called Empty Body. Increases all healing received by 5%. Does not affect stolen life. Okay. Mandatory skill. Gotta take this one. Provides a helpful survivability increase and synergizes very well with other utilities that buff unnatural preservation. So this is the unnatural preservation. This is the self-heal that you can use. Okay, so take about that, increases all healing received by 5%. So that means your unnatural preservation is increased by 5%. And it is off global cooldown. It's a 25-second cooldown. So yeah, it's great. I think this is actually a 30-second cooldown, but with another utility that we're going to talk about, this drops down to 25. So yeah, very, very good. Next one, Corrupted Flash. Reduces the damage taken from all periodic effects by 15%. Again, another very good utility that reduces our damage. Periodic damage is basically a damage tick. You're going to see a red dot that pops off of our character. That is considered periodic. It might be once every 5 seconds, once every 2 seconds, once every 8 seconds, who knows, whatever the cooldown is, and that damage will be reduced by 15%. There is another one here called Tempest Mastery, which is this one right here, increases damage dealt by Force Storm by 25%. This can be, it's a DPS skill, okay? And it could be that as a healer, we might need to put out a little damage just to get us past a particularly difficult situation, or maybe we could throw in some damage to take out some ads, etc. So it is there. However, for me personally, I do not like to, I try not to put mix up damage skill or damage utilities. That's a personal preference. You know, your mileage may vary depending on what you're doing, of course. Okay, moving right along to our masterful skill. So this is the mid-range. Okay, this is the mid-range. The first one is suppression right here. Activating Cloud Mind grants suppression, which increases damage reduction by 25% for 6 seconds. Now this one is right here. Okay, so Cloud Mind. Now, even though this is a D-threat skill, this utility allows us to have an additional damage reduction. Okay, so if we hit this one, now you see here, suppression, damage reduction increased. Now it doesn't last very long, but in a pinch, you can definitely utilize that as a way of reducing. And 25% is a big damage reduction for sure. I think this skill actually needs to go down into my AD line, but I will do that at another time. The next one here is Dark Resilience. Dark Resilience reduces the damage taken by the target of your extrication by 25% by 6 seconds after you extricate them. Additionally, increases the healing done by unnatural preservation by 30%. So this is this skill right here, unnatural preservation. So we are getting another bonus to that skill. Okay, now what does this mean? Let me go find a I got one right in this room here, right? Okay. So you can see that this one has just popped up. So now it's not there, now it's there. Now what this does is, let's say Treek is a DPS character and they're taking a bit of damage, and they're standing in something that is ticking off on them, and they shouldn't be standing there. Maybe they're just not seeing it. They should be, but maybe they're not seeing it. What I can do then is I can move them to my location, okay? Which means that they are taking 25% less damage. So if they've got a tick running on them, they're now taking 25% less damage for 6 seconds, which means that during that time, I can give them a really nice pop-up heal that allows them to take damage reduction plus give them that heal. Okay, so that's the first thing. But at the same time, it allows me to have even more of a immediate restoration to my unnatural preservation. So maybe because I'm taking damage too, or maybe I have a little bit of damage that I want to fill up, and I want to increase my health. Maybe it's down by 80, 90%, 75%, and I want to top myself off. This is a really good skill to use. And how do we do that? We click on this, boom, he comes over here. Now I click on that, and he's now, oh my god, I took the box too, isn't that funny? He'll go back there eventually. And so I just critted that one for 51k. All right, so that's a nice little heal that we can use to help our mates and to help ourselves at the same time. So it's a very nice one to have. The last one that I want to talk about here is Lightning Barrier. This one right here. Your static barrier crackles with electricity, shocking attackers for X electrical damage. when it absorbs direct damage to you. This effect does not affect static barriers placed on allies. It only is for you. So, you see this electrical stuff here? It's coming off. Okay, that means that if I'm getting attacked, those other people who are attacking me are going to be receiving a little bit of damage. Okay, so not only am I healing, not only am I being protected because of mitigation, and of course I can hit this one to increase my own healing, but the people around me are going to take damage. Okay, so that's a really, really nice one to have. It is situational, of course, but again, I'm adding to the incremental damage as a group, and so that's very nice to have as well. And this is, I can't remember what the area of effect is, but it's going to be something when I absorb a hit from somebody. So let's say they're 10 meters away and they're attacking me. I'm absorbing them. They're getting hit. Okay, but I'm not sure what the maximum is on that one. I'm sorry about that. I don't know. Okay, moving right into the heroic tier. This is the last tier we have, our last three. We have Shapeless Spirit. Reduces all damage. Huh. Yeah, do you see a theme there? I think so. Reduces all damage taken while stunned by 30%. Additionally, reduces damage taken from area of effects by also 30%. So this one here is kind of a double dip. If we get stunned, and yes, that does happen in PvE from time to time. So we get stunned, we're taking damage. If we are in an area of effect damage, we are also having a reduction of damage there, okay? Now this one here, Force Mobility. Thundering Blast, Innervate, and Force Leech may be activated while moving. Now Thundering Blast and Force Leech, they're not healing skills, those are DPS things, but our Innervate, which is, where is it? This one right here. We can now, this is a channel skill, and we can now use this in movement situations. So if I'm moving around, I can hit that. Okay, so even though it's channeling, I can use it while I'm moving. That means I can hit it on myself. That means someone else that maybe they're over there. Maybe I need to gap close. So I have enough range, I can hit them, and I can, let's just say I'm here, okay? So I can see them taking damage. So that way I can move closer to them while healing at the same time. All right, so it's a nice, definitely a nice skill to have, and does provide us with a little bit more mobility. The last one, Unnatural Vigor. Unnatural Preservation increases your damage reduction by 15% for 6 seconds. Additionally, reduces the cooldown of the preservation by 5. So we have this one here, Empty Body, and we have this one here, Unnatural Vigor, which work in tandem to help us with this one. So originally it is a 30-second cooldown. That goes down to 25 seconds. And it also provides us that damage reduction by 15% for 6 seconds when we use it. Okay, so there's that. And there's the Unnatural Vigor for 6 seconds. Okay, so you can use this one and you can use this one together in tandem to give yourself a nice little heal for sure. Very nice one to have in mind. Okay, those are the utilities. Let's move to our passives here, and we are going to talk about the first one, the first big one here that I want to talk about, which is granted at level 20, called Force Bending. Now, this one's a big one, because what it does is it allows my Resurgence to grant Force Bending for up to 15 seconds. And this allows me to have 5 of my skills, 5 different skills can provide me with an additional effect. Okay, so we've got Dark Heal, Dark Infusion, Innervate, Revivification, and Roaming Mend. So when I get Force Bending as a passive, it pops up in these here. You'll see that it lasts for 15 seconds, and then I can do whichever one I want to use. I have that ability. Now, I'm not going to talk about that directly here because in the power management, I'm actually going to talk about that because it has a play in that. But keep that in mind for sure. The next one I want to talk about is this one here, Reconstruct. Increases the duration of Resurgent by 6 seconds. In addition, Resurgent grants a protection to its target for 45 seconds. Protected targets have their armor rating increased by 10%. Okay, so this is a good one when you want to put Resurgence on your tank. This gives them an armor rating increase of 10%, which essentially means for 45 seconds, they're going to have a damage reduction. Okay, now Resurgence is this one right here. Okay, so I'm going to put it on myself just to show you the bubble. So there's this. Now, there's the healing, and this one here is my armor rating increased. Okay, so that's the one. Now, if I'm healing, this is the one I want to be having. This is the one I want to have on the tank. Okay, and if I hit Resurgence again, this one here refreshes. So I can wait until this skill is, down at 10 seconds or whatever. I can hit that again, and my force vending increases. I've got periodic healing going on, and I've got protected going on, all at the same time. And you can see this one here, that as I'm using this skill, these things here are being refreshed, right? They're automatically being refreshed. So it's a very, very nice thing to have. Now, if I do this, my next skill is increased. So I use Invinerate, boom. That means that channel skill is now hitting for more. So very, very nice little thing to consider. Okay, and again, I'm going to be talking about this a little bit more in the skills one, but I do want to make note of that. The next one is Force Surge, which is this one right here. Innervate critically heals, critical heals grant a charge of Force Surge, stacking up to 3 times. Using Consuming Darkness with Force Surge consumes the charge, restoring 5 additional force. Now, this is something that we get into with regard to energy management, so I'm not going to talk about it more directly here, but it is something that will be coming up. Okay, so stay tuned for that. Reverse Corruptions is the next one. This force barrier now purges the wary effect caused by Consuming Darkness. So if I hit this one, Consuming Darkness right here, now watch what happens up here. Okay, so there's 2, there's 3. Now I have 4. Okay, so at 4, my force regeneration has decreased. Okay, but if I hit that one, then my weary disappears. So force barrier. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I hit the wrong one. It's this one here. My mistake. This one here is the one that basically negates that weariness. So let me do this again. I'm sorry. I hit the wrong button here. Looking at the wrong skill. Okay, so now I'm weary. Hit that. Boom. And now that's gone. Okay. So that means that I can use those two things in concert with each other so that my my force regen does not reduce too much. Okay, the next one is renewal. 1 second after refreshing your resurgence on a target, the target will be healed by 3,000 health plus any healing that remained from the previous resurgence. Okay, so here's my resurgence here. So I hit that one, and let's say I hit another one. Boom. So now what it does is it takes my resurgence plus my whatever skill I'm using next and combines them together. It gives me a nice little... Okay, so you see here, it improves consuming darkness. I can hit that one there. So you see here that I've actually, because I've used that skill in conjunction with consuming darkness, I can actually go through and not use that wary, not have that wary on me. So that's another thing I can do there. Okay, next one is a dark concentration. Crushing darkness, lightning strike, dark infusion, and revivification grant dark concentration, which causes your next dark heal to activate instantly, consume no force, and heal for 50% more. This effect cannot occur more than once every 10 seconds. Okay, so if I am using, let's see, how do I want to show you this here? Okay, so I'm going to use my Dark Infusion. So I'm going to use this one here. Okay, now it says now that it grants Dark Corruption. There's Dark Corruption right there. Okay, that's the little icon that you're looking at. Do that again. There it is there. And then causes my Dark Heal, which is this one right here, for no health. So I can use these two together. Okay, so I can hit 4, 5, 6. Okay, that allows me to do a very nice little combo of heals for very little health, very little force. It also, of course, if I hit this one, number 4, and I hit this one again, so it's allowing me to have that skill crit. So normally it would be, you know, 10 to 12,000. I'm getting critted for about 21. So it increases my my healing. It's very nice. It's once every 10 seconds. You'll know it's 10 seconds is up because that dark heal actually has that little proc ring around it. So you'll know that you can use it, and it does help with your energy management as well. Okay, the last one I want to talk about is down here. Sustaining darkness. Static barrier grants 10 charges of sustaining darkness to the target. Targets with your sustaining darkness will lose a charge of it each time you directly heal them. If static barrier concludes early, the target is healed for 1,049 health for remaining target, remaining health left. Okay. So if I hit static barrier, you'll see I've got 10 charges there. And this lasts for 30 seconds. Every time I heal, that goes down, as you can see. Okay, now it's 8. Now it's 7. 6. Okay, but let me just show you what happens at the end here. We got 8 more seconds. So what's going to happen is I'm going to get a nice big bonus for about 6,000, perhaps. Boom, 6,000. There we go. So I've used heals on myself, but I've only used 4 heals, and whatever's left over comes to me in a nice kind of a lump sum at the end of static barrier. And so that can be used on anybody. Anybody will have that, not just myself. So it's very, very nice, which means that the static barrier is not wasted, okay? The ticks are going off. I'm healing. I've got a little bit more. Maybe somebody's at 95%, and I know that that's going to go off, so I don't need to worry about healing them, okay? So that's another nice little skill to be having. Okay, there we go. Utilities and passives, everyone, for the Sorc Healer, for the Corruption line. Thank you so much for being here. Next video, video number 3 coming up, we're going to be talking about gear, stats, and we're going to be talking about energy management. So stay tuned, everyone. And remember, as always, may the Force be with you. Thanks very much, and we'll see you next video.